Hey everyone, and welcome to this child protection training. Thanks for taking the time to do this. Jill and I wanted to personally welcome you and thank you for taking an interest in working with our children and young people. Here at C3 Church, we have a very high requirement and standard around child protection. We believe it's important that we make our environments as safe as possible for children, and that's why we're doing a training like this. And we want to just tell you a little bit about it before we introduce you to the formal training.
Yeah, so it's the commitment of C3 Australia, which is the movement we're part of, for local churches to be safe places and to particularly be protecting the vulnerable. And children are one of our in a local church, children are very vulnerable. And so as part of our movement, we are committed with them to ensuring that we keep our local church safe. And so one of the things we have, and we've always had in our church, is a child protection policy. And you'll all be getting a copy of this if you don't already have one. That's what it will look like, or you may get an email. You probably get an email to you. And so it's really important to read that and to be aware of what the policy says and to and familiarise yourself with that.
And there's a code of conduct as well.
And there's also a code of conduct which is in your SP3 guide by ChildSafe. Which you'll all get a copy of a book that looks similar to this.
Just like this, except blue and
Yours
smaller.
will say Members Guide.
Members Guide.
And within that is the Code of Conduct, which will also be talked about in the training that is coming.
And that book goes with the training that you're about to watch.
That book goes with the training, yeah.
Right.
So everyone will get a copy of the book.
All right, so that's, as Jill said, that book is from an organisation called ChildSafe. So we have been affiliated with ChildSafe. In fact, numbers of C3 churches have an affiliation with ChildSafe. It's a private non-government organisation that is designed and works with churches and other non-profits, but I think it's Christian-based actually, but it works with other non-profits as well to help provide training and resource and information that is current around issues of child protection. As you would know, in recent times, Australia's had a Royal Commission into institutional abuse of children, for instance, and so rolling out the recommendations that come with that, and being a part of an organisation like ChildSafe gives us access to professional people who are able to make sure that we stay up to terms with current best practice. So training will be constantly updated appropriately and accordingly, so we may modify this training moving forward, but as it stands right now, we're actually in line and in fact above current best practices, so that's why we're doing this training.
So local churches like ours that are places of faith have unfortunately been used by people with wrong intent and which has caused harm to many people, and that's really sad to us because we are people who want to reflect the heart of Jesus, and we are faith people, and we believe the best about people, and so we don't, I think sometimes we haven't thought that we've needed to think think about this kind of training as being so important, because we've assumed the best about people, but it's actually been shown that people with wrong intent utilise that trust and those faith environments, and they abuse that trust. So actually reflecting the heart of Jesus is actually, for us, it's doing all we can to protect people and to bridge the gaps and to increase safety and reduce opportunity, reduce risks and opportunity where someone with any intent to cause harm would have less opportunity to do that. So that's what we really want to do, because we want to reflect the heart of Jesus, and he's got a huge heart for all of us, and particularly for children and for vulnerable people. And so it's really important that we do all we can to keep learning in this area, all that we can, and there is a lot to learn about what we can do to keep people safe. Yeah,
for sure. Yes, that's why it's so important. It's the heart of God. We reflect the heart of God when we care for these people, and so that's why you're doing this training, and we thank you that you're taking the time to do that. We want to commend Elle Rout to you. She has prepared this training on our behalf, and we've worked with her on that, and she has got this training. You're going to be watching these videos and going through the workbook, so we want you to know that she speaks with our blessing and backing, and so what she says you can take as coming from the heart of us as senior leaders. God bless you. Thanks for taking the time to be a part of this course. If you have any questions at all, chat with Elle or chat with us. We'd love to be able to help you out so that we can release you and equip you with everything you need so you can be as effective as possible in working with our children and our young people. God bless.
Thanks so much.
Welcome to M1 ChildSafe training, keeping people safe. Here at C3WC, we take training seriously. This training is designed to help you understand how to manage risk when working with children and vulnerable people. By the end of this training, you should feel comfortable managing risk and feel confident in the responsibilities surrounding your role. ChildSafe training is relevant to anyone who engages in work with children, vulnerable people, and families. ChildSafe sets the standard of safety and care for us here at C3WC, and it is important that everyone involved is informed and agrees to uphold our safety standard. Our major focus through this training is keeping children and vulnerable people who participate in our organised programs safe from harm. It's also concerned with your safety and the safety of others within your team. Make sure you have a copy of the ChildSafe Team Members Guide with you as you progress through this module. Who does ChildSafe training protect? There are many good reasons for being genuinely concerned about safety and care issues. The ChildSafe Safety Management System is designed to protect children and vulnerable people, to protect team members and volunteers, and to protect C3WC's reputation, as well as for insurance and legal reasons. All these reasons may be valid, but the key focus is to keep children and vulnerable people safe. That needs to be the driving force in implementing ChildSafe and in completing this training.